Alright, and we're live. Welcome back. Hey guys. It's been a long time in the making, but we're back to Ace Attorney. I have absolutely no idea what's going on. You guys have these coasters and you aren't even using them?
That's a good point.
Alright. Hopefully the game updates us on what was happening, because I have no idea. We're heading into the trial for Soseki Natsume.
Wait, we just talked.
Actually,
We just talked with the.
I think we're literally just heading into the trial for
lady-
the first time. No, we just talked with the defendant. And now
right.
we finally determined we're
But
gonna
in
defend
the
him.
previous one, we were like
And we went
getting
through his
nowhere
house.
with the guy.
We were talking to the
We got
people-
literally
and the
nowhere.
maid,
with
Yeah,
and the maid
that's
was
how
the
that-
wife.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, I never expected this. Who'd have thought we'd be back here again so soon?
Oh, hold on. Totally forgot that there's audio.
Yeah, the music's
Oh, like something's
the best
missing.
part.
We're on a study tour of Great Britain with the intention of learning the country's legal practice. In order to research the latest court
Oh, Ace
procedures
Attorney
here,
blows. Wow, thanks, Steve.
we need as much court experience as possible.
That too close?
The things to...
The mic,
Oh,
you
no.
totally just messed with the camera now.
It's okay.
Nice job.
That's fine.
I just didn't want these to be like.
That works.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, there we go. Well, you're free to leave anytime, Steve. Well, yes, I suppose that's true, but for the person in the dock, it may well be his or her one and only time in the court, and it could be life-changing. In which
Dock?
case, I don't know. Was that what that said?
I don't know.
That doesn't read his
That's
chat.
actually what that said. For the person in the dock. Yeah, I don't know what a dock. Guy doesn't read his. I literally
forget.
commented on your comment. You can't say that. Get out of here.
Guy doesn't read his chat.
Get out of here. Leave my stream.
I gotta get my dictionary ready.
In which case, treating it as research may seem a little crass.
Oh, when you put it like that, you're quite right.
Good morning. Oh, it's yes.
Oh, it's your...
Well, his eyeballs are.
The same as always.
I forgot how this dude talks.
Should've-
It is you. This is
should've-
you.
No, it's you.
This is
We
you.
don't know.
Oh, Mr. Natsume. Good morning.
It's not me.
Oh dear, are you alright? Your eyes are terribly bloodshot.
The early bird catches the worm, as they say here in Britain.
Yes, I've heard that expression.
But I really don't want to catch a worm. So I tried desperately not to wake up early, but I was so worried I couldn't catch a wink.
All right,
This guy's
seriously.
crazy. Bye, Steve. Oh, and now I'm absolutely exhausted as a result.
Do all literally people take things so literally? I figured that'd be the one person you don't figure things takes literally.
Thank you for putting your faith in us today, Mr. Natsume.
I wish I had 9 lives. My whole future hangs in the balance.
I thought that said I wish I had 9 lines.
I
Like,
wish
it's
I had
just
9 lines.
Being
Too
Meta.
terrified to tremble.
really because I can feel the tremors in the floor.
I can't do this. I can't take it. Oh, the locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Empire.
Esquire.
Esquire.
Yes.
I caught a glimpse of the public gallery as I walked by the courtroom. It looked like the opening night of the opera. There were so many people. I had no idea my case was such a notorious affair here in London.
Oh, neither did I. Do you know why that might be, Mr. Sato?
I'm sorry, Mr. Naruhodo, but I have no idea.
So that all-knowing look on your face is just coincidence, then, is it?
Don't hide the truth from me. It's because of the Reaper, isn't it?
Lord Van Zeeks. Is that right, Mr. Sato?
I purchased as many different newspapers as I could this morning, and yes, Lord Van Zeeks is on the front page of every one.
I knew it.
Sometime after the prosecutor was dubbed the Reaper of the Bailey, he stopped appearing in court, it seems. It's been several years now, in fact, until the day before yesterday.
Yes, Inspector Gregson told us something similar, didn't he? The trial 2 days ago marked Lord Van Zeek's return to the courtroom after a very long... I think that's your line.
Who?
I think that's Lana's.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah. Well, the trial of Magnus McGilded. Oh, what a harrowing experience it was. I don't know. It's hard to say.
What a harrowing experience it was.
I believe that appearance made even greater waves here in the capital than today's.
But we wouldn't have realized, of course, having only just arrived in the country.
Why is the Reaper back in the Bailey so soon for what appears to be mundane murder? That's the question the papers are asking, and they are all speculating various answers.
Mundane? Mundane is the most significant saga of the century to some of us.
Oh dear, I meant no offense, Mr. Natsume, but that is how the papers are describing it.
Well, lest we also forget the fact that it could spark an international incident. Obviously, the reappearance of this infamous prosecutor has caught people's attention. But there's another blatant similarity with the trial of 2 days ago.
Yes, I agree.
Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, it's you!
Me? Well, I suppose that's true.
Both times it is you who stands against this legendary prosecutor. It can only mean that you're friends with the Reaper!
Please, I don't rub shoulders with Deathbringers. Rub shoulders, man.
I'm afraid that there's really only one other explanation. It can only be another example, Mr. Naruhodo, of your uncommon bad luck.
Wouldn't it be common bad luck? Because it happens so often?
Yeah, common bad luck.
Thanks for that.
Or maybe his unluck is so uncommon and so unfortunate.
I guess you could see it that way. Like, no one really has this kind
Yeah.
of bad luck.
Yeah.
Oh, this is just my luck. Why must I be represented by a man with such a frail fortune? By the least lucky lawyer alive! Living lawyer. By the least lucky living lawyer would have been way better.
That's
Well, let's
true.
not forget that it was you, Mr. Natsume, who asked me to represent you. Yeah, ungrateful piece of crap. Yes, it's true that I'm just a student new to London with little in the way of experience, or skills, or luck, or money, or anything else. But I promise you this! I will fight for your corner until the bitter end, and I will believe in you, Mr. Natsume.
Oh, benevolent locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire.
You're not alone here with us, Mr. Natsume. Whatever happens, we will always be on your side.
Oh, benevolent non-locum assistant Miss Mikoto Esquires. I am in your debt forever. I shall never forget this great kindness for as long as I live.
Mr. Natsume, counsel for the defense!
Oh, dang. Bailey.
There's so many bailiffs. in
Yeah,
this,
you're right,
like, the court session is about to begin. Kindly make your way to the courtroom at once.
I'm fired.
You're fired. Alright then, Mr. Natsume, it's time. Let's go.
Yes!
As fun as it is to listen to this character, man, I hope this guy is not a very common occurrence. This is it.
He's the main character.
My second appearance in the British courtroom. He's the next prosecutor. At my second trial against the Reaper.
Yeah.
Dead person. I hope you're watching over me, Kazuma. Because this time, I won't let my faith waver. I'll believe in my client to the last. Just like you believed in me. I believe I can do this now. I'm ready for this fight. You know, canonically, ghosts exist in this game, so...
Really?
Yeah. Like, there's spirit mediums in the base game, and, like, you know, they can call them the spirits of the dead.
To testify?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That's dope. Oh no, it's the same people.
Is it? I wasn't actually paying too much attention.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session.
Wow, Judge, you seem to have gotten even older since the last time we saw you.
I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed.
Wow, you're gonna have a
The
lot of
prosecution
lines.
is fully prepared, my lord.
The defense is ready, my lord.
The Nibonese are truly a fascinating breed.
Sorry, what?
Lord Strongheart has told me all about you. That you are a student who arrived in London but 2 days ago, a mere amateur.
Do you have a point?
Being a compatriot, you feel compelled to try to help the accused, I suppose. Typical Nibonese arrogance.
Forgive me, but I do not believe arrogance is an appropriate description.
Susato-san.
After all, at our previous encounter, the defendant was found to be innocent.
Oh dang, he mad. He poured his glass. Hold on. Oh wait, I have the mug. Nah, it's not worth it.
Very true, and a most fascinating if dark trial it was, too. The tragic conclusion came later, of course. He is to the acquitted in his unfortunate, violent end.
No, this is that other guy. That was the
Yeah, they're different ones.
that was the
The
witness.
Yeah. Thank you, councils. I see both sides are in fine fettle. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, are you ready to carry out your duties here in court as impartial members of the public?
To rumble?
Alright.
This is you, babe.
You never know when you might be down.
That was not his voice.
Well, is he a British guy? You never know when you might be down on your luck, but I believe in fair play for everyone.
It's okay, well, everyone will get new voices.
She seems new.
She is new.
Well, I must warn you, I'm rather more ruthless than I appear.
Same voice though.
Oh, well, not me. What you see is what you get. I'm a peace-loving fellow.
Oh, it's her again.
Oh, it's the
Afraid to
fast.
say, I think it's quite possible that mustached foreigner did the deed.
Come on, what are we waiting for? No doubt he did it anyway. Not another old man. Oh, you want
Sorry.
it? You got it?
Didn't quite catch that.
Very well, let us proceed. Your opening statement, if you please, Lord Halifax.
Very recently, Great Britain signed an alliance with the rising power in the Far East. The accused in the dock today is a student from that same land. He's going Scottish. A certain Mr. Soseki Natsume. And while our country has extended this foreign student the warmest of welcomes, regrettably the kindness has not been returned. In fact, this student is accused of a most sinister act.
Oh, pfft.
Right into the
Of
candles.
plunging a knife into the back of an innocent woman who was doing nothing but walking down the street.
A knife crime? I tell you from. Wait, hold on. A knife crime? I tell you from bitter experience. Those are the worst. Bloody oath they are.
Because he was involved.
Just look at that sallow complexion and short stature. He's one of those dreadful Japanese.
Wow, these people are just racist.
Freaking racist.
Come on, let's get this over with. With me now, everyone. 1, 2, 3.
Sorry, didn't quite catch that.
Is that all he's gonna say?
Pray forgive the discourtesy of smashing my hallowed chalice here in this great chamber.
For the 10th time.
I've brought another.
There's just a pile of glass that's just all.
Allow me to call the first witness to the stand.
Very well. Bailiff, lead the inspector in, please.
Oh, this guy. Is this me?
Yeah, that was you.
I mean, I can help take over since, you know, you're
That's fine, I got
Venzies.
this. Your name and occupation, please.
You got it?
I forget what he is.
Yes, sir. Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector at Scotland Yard.
Would you please summarize the events of the case for the court, Inspector?
The victim is thought to be a young woman in her 20s by the name of Olive Green. I beg your pardon, Inspector. Aye, not to be.
It's literally being recorded.
I just said it.
Yes, having been stabbed in the back by her attackers, knifed the victim fell unconscious. That was 3 days ago now, and she's been comatose ever since.
What? So they don't even know who she is for sure?
Not this guy.
Comatose, I see. But her life is not in danger.
Fortunately for the Eastern student, the charge will not be murder.
I like how many voices I can get away with not having on my own stream.
Pray elaborate on the details, Inspector. Now you can record. I use this shirt, so
Sir, if I could ask everyone to look at this street map. As I mentioned, the incident took place 3 days ago, at around 4 of an afternoon.
It was 5.
Five.
It happened on the pavement, running alongside the broad road, a wide thoroughfare for drawn-horse vehicles.
I'm sorry, what was that, Inspector? Did you repeat that for me?
Oh, I think I'm struck.
It's not long since stopped snowing as the victim, Miss Green, was walking down the street.
Out of the blue, she was approached from behind by the accused and stabbed in the back. Luckily, the young lady's life was spared, and she's currently being treated in one of the city's hospitals.
Wait, he just went from being like Scottish to being like Southern. Like so fast.
But being unconscious as she is, we've been unable to take a statement from her, of course. This is the case file with everything we need to know about the victim so far.
That means the victim's gonna wake up from the comatose state and come in as the final witness, you know, at the very end.
Thank you,
Flip the court on its
Inspector.
head.
The court will accept the documents as evidence, if you please.
And what of the weapon that was used?
Sir, I have that here. It was removed from the victim's back.
Wait, let's take a
Now
look
he's
at
back
the
to
evidence
being-
this time for once.
American.
Let's see this.
You know what? New content alert.
Oh, Avantep Gaming has showed up.
Tweet it out.
Tweet it out.
It says 0 followers, but he just commented.
Don't worry about that viewer count.
zero
That
viewers.
makes it's broken all the time.
Oh.
Alright, let's see. A young woman was rendered unconscious following stab wound to the back. Okay.
So you're saying there could be like 100
The
people
victim remains
watching this
unconscious. Her name was Colleen. I mean, I don't know about that one. Her personal effects. All the details. Apart from single stab, Lord's knife, no single. Let's see. Sam was seen running away from opponent. Okay. Okay. Rolly beat. Rolly beat.
Sir, I have that here. It was removed from the victim's back.
Ouch. That big thing is starting to make me scared to walk down the street now.
That looks like a tiny little thing.
I mean, it's all perspective.
With a heavy blade like that, almost anybody would have been able to stab that poor woman.
Must be ginormous. Even the scragged-looking Soseki-san, I suppose. I don't count as a
A
viewer.
common or garden jackknife, I would say.
I can't even do this to it anymore.
Do it. Just do a little.
Rather nondescript.
Not like that.
That's
That's even worse.
Thank you, Inspector. The court accepts the blade as evidence.
Okay, you got it. I can't do old man, so you have to do
Oh,
old man.
then, what do we know of them? What do we know about him?
You
Do
sound like
less
you're
of that.
dying.
Money or valuables, I presume. What we can tell, looking at the woman's possessions, it seems like she's a poor student herself.
Are you sure you don't want me to take this over? This is gonna become a
Hard
real
to
long
imagine
stream.
she would have had anything much worth pinching, my lord. I see. Well, in that case, are we looking at some deep-seated resentment toward the victim? I'm afraid I couldn't say. Apart from visiting second-hand bookshops, the defendant, Mr. Natsume, doesn't appear to go out much. At this moment in time, we haven't been able to establish any sort of connection between him and the victim.
Yes. If theft and grievance have been ruled out as the motive, what reason could Mr. Natsume possibly have had for stabbing the young woman? Yet you arrested the man in spite of that, in totally unjustified and heavy-handed way.
Objection!
Right into this crowd.
Pray forgive the discourtesy of flinging a freshly uncorked bottle into the public gallery. Watch out, there is silhouettes of people.
Yeah.
But your words have soured its hallowed bouquet. For it is you, my learned friend, who is being heavy-handed here.
What?
Scotland Yard does not arrest people without a good cause. That should be beyond question. Inspector Gregson, the prosecution calls for your formal testimony. Explain to the court precisely why the constabulary came to arrest the Nipponese student.
Yes, sir.
Holy crap, it's just you, baby.
Well, I said it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the incident occurred, and there was an unusually light fog. Visibility was reasonably good, and there's no one else alone but the victim and the accused. Out of the blue, the victim was stabbed from behind and subsequently collapsed onto the pavement. The accused ran off, scattering his belongings all over the floor. Those being a number of old books he'd just bought. He was on his way home from a bookshop, it seems. It was just a matter of working out who the books belonged to, and we found the bloke to arrest him. Old books, you say?
Old man, you
Yes,
say?
my lord. I have a photograph right here at the scene of the crime taken immediately after the incident. Holy thick. Oh, yes, I can clearly see the booty to which you're referring.
She's called a green olive. She's gotta be, you know, round. Damn, he actually just yeeted that.
I will take the photographic print as evidence, please, Inspector.
You Nipponese are a spineless breed, too cowardly to admit defeat. I don't count as viewer because the Cosmos hates me. He
I already
actually
read
just
all
yeeted
these.
it. Oh.
It's okay.
Denying everything despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary.
Well,
Forgive me, Lord Benzeeks, but the defendant is not denying everything as you put it.
What are you doing, Mrs. Sato?
You go on.
Mr. Natsume has admitted to playing some part in the incident. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruhodo?
Well, now that you mention it, when we visited him in the prison yesterday, he did tell us what had all happened.
Yeah.
As I was walking along the accursed pavement, I could make out the sole silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman wearing a green overcoat she was, and just as I went to overtake her...
What?
She suddenly let out a little scream and collapsed under the cold hard slabs of stone at my feet. I was terrified. I had to get away from there, so I ran as fast as my legs could carry me back to my accursed lodgings.
She wasn't on the ground yet? That's weird. A green overcoat?
Well, that's exactly what the woman in the print is wearing.
Oh my! A photographic print in full color. What will the world come up with next?
The defendant has done nothing more than admit he fled the scene of a terrifying incident. That does not mean he's guilty of the heinous crime of stabbing the woman in the back.
There was nobody else there at the time, just the two of them, the victim and the accused. In other words, there is nobody else who could possibly have stabbed the woman. Why you break my cube? In fact, the accused concedes.
Ugh.
It seems this cross-examination could prove to be pivotal, Counsel. Proceed, please.
Yes, my lord. Nothing for it. I have to use this cross-examination to turn the tables here. It's our only chance. Alright. Let's see it.
Oh, sorry, did that mess with your mind?
It's okay. Still out of fine. Yeah, probably the...
There, I put it back.
Fine.
I already read all this, and I'm doing it again.
Yeah, no, that's... So we gotta figure out what to actually want to do.
Can you go get more?
Have some.
5 o'clock. Okay, so... I think we have to press. There's nothing suspicious that I remember seeing. 5 o'clock in the afternoon, the incident occurred.
More of the great pictures.
We have a receipt from when books were bought.
Would I?
Nope, not when, just who.
I think it has to do with the... Please? I think it has to do with... Remember when we interviewed those people and they were looking... They had the lookout from the window? They're being sus?
Uh-huh.
Didn't we figure out something then or no?
Not really. No, I'm good, I'm good. It was 5 o'clock, there's unusually light fog. Visibility is good, no one else about the victim and the accused.
Oh, press...
Hold it! From behind, you say?
That's right, as you can see from this print. Yes, quite so, Inspector. The handle of the weapon is clearly protruding from the victim's back. And you say this poor woman, Miss Green, remains in a critical condition. Comatose, no less. I'm afraid so, my lord. Yes, she's been treated at Bart's. I was hopeful that she'd come round before the trial started so I could take a statement, but it wasn't to be. Yes, and that is indeed a pity. It would have been most illuminating to hear the victim's own account of events.
Luck is on your client's side, it seems.
On the contrary, my client has been exceedingly unlucky.
Your force of tone is seriously undermined by those disturbingly wide eyes, I'm afraid.
Ugh. Okay, well, that didn't seem to change anything.
Did he drop his stuff on the floor?
So we'll find out. The defendant apparently visits a second-hand bookshop on a daily basis.
Yes, so I understand. A shop full of old English literature.
I commend the accused on the lofty subject matter of his scholarly attention.
The bloke's room was stacked floor to ceiling with those must-sell books.
Can you tell us more about the bookshop in question, please, Inspector?
Well, if I must, I'll have to ask you to look at this street map again, I'm afraid. The closest second-hand bookshop to the accused lodgings is this place here, Bourbon Books.
A little place on the corner of Briar Road and Mearscum Street.
Wait, so where did he buy these books from?
Mearscum Street.
Your books.
Oh,
I think it's from a different
These
bookshop.
aren't your books.
Bourbon book, yeah, it's from a different shop.
so we press that then.
Well, we present that.
As it happens, AQ's is currently living in a lodgings on the other side of Briar Road at opposite end, which means it doesn't take a genius to work out the route he would have taken home. Right, something like this.
But the murder happened like right around. I can't point because no one will see on the screen, but like on Briar Road in the middle. But depending on where your books is, it could change.
Yes, I concur with your conclusion, Inspector. The defendant was certain to have passed the scene of the crime on his way home from that particular shop.
Wow, but how heavy-handed they're doing it from that particular shop, eh?
Naruhodo? I think that what the inspector just told us could turn out to be vital importance.
You think?
Yes, I agree. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone, for pointing out the most important point that the inspector just made.
The
Being
name, baby.
bookshop's name. Inspector Gregson,
Maybe
may I
lowercase.
ask you a favor? Favor?
What?
Would you kindly add the name of the bookshop to your formal testimony, please? I believe it may be of vital importance.
Maybe.
Oh, well, you know, I mean, yes, it could be a very important clue.
Very well, not that I can see it being of any great significance, but please revise your testimony accordingly, Inspector.
You know, Judge,
The way you're
think you might be in
talking
your
makes
final
me feel
moments.
like you should be like,
It sounds like he's gonna
Yes,
die
sir,
any
my
moment.
lord, whatever you say.
Could the man be any
when the
more
judge
sardonic?
actually dies, it'll be good.
Actually dies. Good joke. Alright, let's present
Pooty Center.
the receipt. Objection. If I could just stop you there, Inspector Gregson.
What is it, sunshine? I'm a busy man, you know.
This is a receipt that we found in Mr. Natsume's room. It was issued on the day of the incident, and the details of the purchase of 3 second-hand books.
And you found that in AQ's room, did you?
Yes, but the point is not where the receipt was found, but the name of the shop printed on it.
Go on.
This receipt was issued from the bookshop called Your Books.
Your books? Why, I presume.
Yes, my lord. So Mr. Natsume did indeed purchase a number of books at a second-hand bookshop that day. However, the bookshop in question was not Bourbon Books.
What? Inspector, you know this other bookshop? Yes, sir. Your books is... Oh, what is it this way? Your books is another second-hand bookshop not far from Bourbon Books. It's just that... Well, it's such a small place I didn't think the accused would have known about it.
Objection. But in fact, that is the bookshop which the defendant visited on the day in question. And this receipt proves it.
Objection!
Yes. For what difference it makes. Wherever the man purchased his musty tomes, it makes no difference in the final analysis.
We'll have to see about that. I disagree. I mean, after all,
I have the street map here if that might be of help.
yes, thank you. Here, have a look at this, please. If the defendant had been returning from Bourbon Books, then yes, he would have almost certainly have passed the place where Miss Green was attacked. I bet he was on the right side, so he wouldn't have passed, he would have just seen it.
Yeah.
However, if we take into account the fact that he was actually at another bookshop, Your Books, it may very well turn out to be he wouldn't have passed that location at all.
Could that be true?
My, it rather depends on where this other bookshop is, but I do declare it may be a possibility.
Is that right, Mr. Lawyer, sir? What you just said?
That guy sounds exactly
No,
the
but
same as
actually-
the other, whatever juror. Absolutely, it absolutely could be right.
Inspector Gregson, where's this Your Books establishment? Well, obviously we looked into that. Turns out that Your Books are up your butt. It's just here on the next corner of Mearscum Street going east.
Wow, so he could have gone either direction. Thanks, game. Make us do some more legwork, why don't ya? And there you have it. As you can clearly see now, he could go in either direction.
Savage.
He has another thing and another chalice.
My learned Nipponese friend is obviously in training to be a clown. The way he regales us with such witticisms. To your future career in the circus.
Oh, we're covering the glass.
Is he gonna work the very big circus? That's okay, they know what it
Covering
is.
the glass?
On the screen where his glass would
Oh, when he was holding that. Grr, you put that glass down now, or I'll put it down for you!
I know what.
Didn't think I needed to spell it out, but here we go. If the accuser's coming home from your books instead of bourbon books, there's no doubt he's still to pass the place where the victim was stabbed. Yes, thank you, Inspector. Allow me to reiterate for my learned, if somewhat slow, Nipponese friend.
Oh,
Wherever the man purchased his musty tomes, it makes no difference in the final analysis.
Man, they should have been keeping account of how many wine glasses
That's
he's
two,
gone
that's
through.
two, that's two.
No, not in this, not in this one. Overall.
Oh, overall.
Yeah.
As I suspected, you can't fool me, and I don't suggest you try.
What did I say, eh? I've had enough of this now.
Beg your pardon? Terribly sorry, but would you mind repeating that again?
Mr. Naruhodo. I can never say that. Mr. Naruhodo, we mustn't give up.
What? What do you mean?
If
You
the
say we can't just give up?
If the prosecution's assertion is correct, the members of the jury may very well decide that Mr. Natsume is guilty.
Ah, she's absolutely right. Who knew?
We must consider the assertion just put forward by the prosecution very, very carefully.
They claim Soseki-san must have passed the location of the incident on his way back home from your books. But,
Raise an
let's
objection.
leave it.
It's because of the fog. Maybe he went the wrong way.
The assertion just made by the prosecution is fundamentally flawed.
Explain yourself, Captain.
Yes, my lord. You can see what I mean on this map. When returning from your books to his lodgings, Mr. Natsume could have followed the route suggested by the prosecution. However, that's right, he just smashed that with his fist. That's all that's, no, you can't just put it down. That isn't the only conceivable route to take between the two places.
Wow, this game really is just going the extra mile with spelling it out for you.
If the defendant used these streets, look what happens! He arrives back at his lodgings without passing the location where the victim was attacked.
Objection! Talking back to a clown is a fool's errand, of course. However, I feel compelled to point out that
I guess you're right.
that route is what is commonly referred to as the long way round.
He's not wrong, but
On a cold winter's night, why would any man choose to take a longer route home?
well,
The answer is extremely simple. He wouldn't. In other words, the accused took the obvious route back to his lodgings and is the obvious perpetrator of this crime.
objection. But, aha, yes, I got it. Obviously, we must ask the man himself. Ask Mr. Natsume which route he took home.
I have already informed the court of the accused's response to such questioning. He claims he has no recollection.
Wow. Thanks for really making us work for it.
That's right, as I said, the bloke seemed to spend his time outside wandering aimlessly from A to B to Z. That there is no exception. He says he doesn't remember where he was or which route he took home.
Sounds pretty sus. I don't believe this!
Break the bottle.
Imagine a real life courtroom like this where the guy's like,
I thank
I don't
you, my
remember.
learned friend. and suggests that we do not waste any more of the court's time by wandering aimlessly around this subject.
Lamau, no recollection, case closed.
Savage. What did he say?
Let's be honest. In Among Us, they get instantly ejected right there.
I know,
Where
literally.
was I don't know.
Pray, what say you, insightful jurors?
He's fetched.
Is he sus?
But even if that is the case, defense still.
Hold it.
I think they said hold it still, but I couldn't tell because they never actually said anything. Oh crap.
Oh.
He's
I,
effed.
I agree with Lord Van Zeeks. Wholeheartedly and in every way.
Well, what? I don't believe it. Does this mean?
We members of the jury are completely convinced now.
Are we really doing this all over again? This is literally just the last case.
Yep.
Very well, in that case, I hereby call upon all members of the jury to present your findings to the court.
Oh my gosh, it's thanks to another ignorant old person.
Among Us sus.
Guilty.
Listen.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Everyone get down.
Oh.
Guilty.
And then the ignorant old for never mind.
Wait, can you rewind that?
No.
No.
This isn't a video.
Holy
Dang.
crap. We just got wrecked.
This happened last
Wait, but you
time.
got all their voices. That's so cool.
Oh, with all of them? I thought one of them didn't.
No, all of them did it.
All of them. had their
It would
voices.
appear the jury's leaning is
It's
unanimous.
time for conspectus to inspect. I don't know what it was called. I'm taking a nap over here. Don't bother me.
To the insightful members of the jury, I applaud your brave resolve. You serve Queen and country admirably.
Mr. Naruhodo.
I'm still taking a nap. Don't bother me. No, not yet. I have to sleep some more. I still have one last chance to sway the opinion of the jury. It's time for. I have to tip the balance of those scales the other way. I have to turn this around somehow.
Those are the eyes of a query not yet willing to give up and
I
die.
don't know. His eyes seem pretty dead to
What's
me.
a query?
I think like a target?
So I presume you intend to wield your rights again in this trial. Rights of the defense written in antiquated British law that should have been buried long ago.
Type definition. Oh,
A place typically a large, deep pit from which a stone or other materials.
that's not it.
A quarry?
More
That's how it's
definitions.
spelled.
More definitions. More definitions. Tap on it.
Where? Oh. Cut into rock.
Nope.
Middle English from a
Go to
variant of
two.
medieval.
Go to quarry as an
Animal
adjective.
pursued by hunter, or yeah, it's this one. It's a
Oh,
target.
yeah,
It's just a
there.
target, basically. Call it antiquated if you will, but it's a defensive prerogative to carry out a summation examination if it so chooses. That's what it is.
Summation examination.
GG
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
One last chance.
No chance, GG.
Very well, counsel.
Shut the fetch up.
In accordance with the letter of the law, we shall proceed with a summation examination.
It'd be pretty funny if they actually just got an impossible trial.
Are the members of the jury ready, Mr. Foreman?
Of course we're ready! I'm all too familiar with that Nipponese whippersnapper and his uncas refusal to throw in this alley.
And the
In
MC
his
just
alley.
shrugs and goes to the pub or something. He's like, oh well, no weight off my back.
Very well then. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you're willing to explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty.
Yeah, I gotta say honestly, this mechanic is kind of biffy on me.
Oh, the flipping back and forth.
No, like this mechanic where it's like, oh, you gotta prove them wrong, but they're not witnesses. It's like,
Yeah.
That's stupid.
whatever.
For pity's sake, that little Nipponese oddity already admitted it himself, didn't he?
You know, in a cast of currently what, 8, 10, 11 characters, I voiced 2 of these. Good grief.
If he said that a woman in green collapsed before his eyes, why can it only have been the victim?
The man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back from the bookshop, not in winter.
So the poor woman was attacked from behind, was she? How dreadful.
I don't really care. Can't we just wrap this up now? I got work to be doing.
Your books, yes, nice shop that. But bourbon books? No, not worth a visit.
What if he's just the owner of the old books? Scrum debate.
Tell them.
Naegi.
What is that?
It's just the main character, Danganronpa.
Oh, really?
Hey,
That's my name?
You're Evan Davgar, you're talking about an impossible case, but that literally happens in that game.
Scrum debate.
With only minor exceptions, the reasons for finding the finished goods clear.
Alright, Toyota.
When the
That's
stabbing
easy.
occurred,
Yeah.
only 2 people at the scene were the victim and the accused. And the accused himself has admitted to seeing the victim in her green overcoat sink to the ground before his eyes.
Furthermore, we have heard from the inspector that the defendant has fled the scene. I must say, I would have ample grounds to convict this man already.
No, you can't do that voice.
Convict him, I must.
Oh dear, even the judge appears convinced of Mr. Natsume's guilt now.
Ugh, why did he have to run away like that? And how are we supposed to believe in some phantom attacker that nobody could see? This is impossible! How can I possibly make a case for the defense? Judge Yoda!
Mr. Naruhodo, this is no time for grumbling. If we want to force the trial to continue,
Yes, I know, I have to turn the tide. I must make the jurors change their minds. Well, 4 of them at least.
exactly. You have no choice but to forge forward.
You have the floor, counsel. Begin your summation examination.
Yes, my lord. Don't stress yourself too much. I just need to keep this trial going somehow, whatever it takes. Come on, Ryunosuke, you can do it. You can't give up.
Jury examination.
Jury.
I'm gonna cut them all down with my sword.
Give up, go home.
Alright.
Judge Yoda.
Lapsed before his eyes, so I can only have been the victim. But I can only have been the victim.
Tide's already gone.
The man would have gone around, okay, long way. Form an attack from behind. That doesn't matter. Your
That one, do that one, do that one.
This one? And what?
I don't know.
The whole point is we have to press. We can press these. We probably have to press. Let's press the ones that actually sound
That
like they
one.
matter. Which
No.
one?
The girl, this girl.
Okay.
Because it could have been somebody else.
You're right about you're right at that. At the time of the incident, the defendant admits to have seen someone wearing a green overcoat walking ahead of him. It could have been anyone with a green overcoat.
Well, quite. That's precisely my point. Clearly, that someone wearing green was the victim. And clearly, that funny little Nipponese man with the disturbing mustache is the culprit.
But let us not forget, madam, the defendant vehemently denies attacking the woman.
Why, of course he does. If he admits to stabbing her, his life is over. The man is obviously a liver-faced coward, honestly, claiming the woman
Liver-faced.
simply collapsed before his eyes.
But if that's a lie, as you're suggesting, do you not think he would have concocted something more credible?
Oh, I really couldn't say. After all, you are foreign. Who's to say what goes through your funny little minds?
What a racist.
Oh
I
my.
think someone wonder what's going on inside there.
I can tell you what's going through my
Racism,
funny
dude.
little mind right now, but you wouldn't like it.
I do declare the man has already made the admission. He himself has stated that there was nobody else around. Surely the conclusion is obvious. No one else could possibly have committed this awful crime!
Ugh.
If no one else could have done it, the accused must be the man. Really, it couldn't be more simple.
Your argument is compelling in its simplicity, I must admit.
Oh my, you are too kind, my lord.
That went well for her.
What was the first guy thing?
I'm gonna push this guy too. Hold it! Thing you already admitted it. Excuse me, but aren't you?
Yes, that's right. I was in the witness stand myself just 2 days ago.
Foreign. Yes, I had a feeling I knew your face, or the side of it anyway. If I remember correctly, you're a banker, aren't you?
That's right. After the gold rush down under, I came back to London to work. And it was all going swimmingly until you started fossicking around.
Alright, dictionary, go. Forth.
Judge is straight up
Bruce
asleep.
Fairplay was a man of repute. Of record.
Sorry.
Don't think I've forgotten how you treated me the other day. You had me and that young hatter pegged as criminals.
Fossicking is the search for gold in abandoned workings. He spent years fossicking through documents to rummage or search.
Oh, well, you know, water under the bridge.
Now there's all sorts of rumors buzzing around, and the police have been badgering me non-stop.
If I could turn back the clock.
Well, anyway, I don't know about the Hatter, but at least I'm in the clear now. I'm free to make up my own mind about who's guilty and who isn't.
Oh, thank goodness. Alright, maybe I might struggle to change this man's mind given their awkward history. Alright.
Oh dear, I wonder what's become of Mr. First now.
But clearly that's not the target. Left
To the
for
little
his
Boy
eyes.
Scout.
This one?
Yeah.
But you can't deny that there are other routes Mr. Natsume could have taken back from your books.
Oh yes, like you drew on the map you mean. What was it? Calabrage Road or something?
Precisely.
Yeah, but it seems to me that what counts is whether the little Japanese fellow actually went that way or not.
Well, yes, that's true.
And at the moment, there's no proof that shows he did, is there?
Well, yes, that's true as well.
And as I understand, the accused himself